Hello, friends of Tangled Hearts. Welcome to our channel, where stories of love and passion unfold. Let's begin our exciting journey into the world of human relationships. Exactly at 4, a knock echoed on the door. Gathering my composure, I opened it and saw that Megan was standing there. Megan had come to ask me for another chance at reconciliation. Not in this lifetime, damn it. Manipulating me, forcing consent to infidelity with disgusting lies. Destroying our family. Her lover had already slinked away with a broken nose and an impending divorce. Mary was long gone too. Despite the fact that she totally blew my mind in those 2 days after the fight at the restaurant, I threw that shit out on the street when I found out she had an abortion and just killed our baby so she wouldn't sleep with some asshole soccer player. 9 years ago that I knew before that she was a cheating crap. But with this awful confession, our friendship came to an end that I laughed in her face when she begged me to forgive Megan. Whores, like animals, always gather in packs to protect one another. Come in, Megan, I coldly said to my soon-to-be ex-wife. She entered the house, nervous and lacking self-confidence. She looked bad. It was evident that she sleeps little and cries often. Her eyes were red, and although her hair was combed, it looked dull and unkempt. What I learned about her deception and how she, along with her damn friend Sylvia, set me up, as well as how she was served divorce papers in the restaurant, after which I left arm in arm with her old rival, shook her to the core. Finally, she understood that the pain she was experiencing was the same pain through which she had forced me to go. Please, don't do this. Jack, stop the divorce, she pleaded. If you give me a chance, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make amends for my mistakes. It was hard to believe that I once loved this cruel and selfish bitch. A woman who conspired with her bitch friend to drug and rape me, all to blackmail me into becoming a cuckold. She caused me so much pain, as if she had ripped out my heart. If you want any kind of forgiveness, I want to know everything about this affair. And don't you dare lie to me. If you lie, we're done, I demanded as she sat down. Tell me, damn it, what the hell were you thinking when you made plans with Sylvia to degrade and destroy me? Megan hesitated, a glimmer of guilt in her eyes. Tears welled up in her eyes as she spoke with a quivering voice. Believe me, Jack, I love only you. I never stopped loving you. I know it's hard for you to believe, but it's true. It had nothing to do with you as a father, a husband, or a lover. It was just sex. If I could, I would undo it all, but I couldn't. I messed up, Jack, but it wasn't as it seems. I never wanted to degrade you, blah, blah, blah. Again, these cliches of cheating. Nothing new. It happened exactly as I said, but I want to hear your point of view, I replied, knowing that this conversation was being recorded. She told the whole dirty story, confessing that she and Sylvia had planned everything in advance, drugged me to set up for blackmail, a scheme they executed with Sylvia. Despite the pain I endured, she admitted that the thought had crossed her mind that I might not cope with the pain and could do something to myself. But still, even these thoughts did not make her abandon her plan. She was completely immersed in this insane fantasy of trying Steve's, who was a hound, and whom Sylvia and other women in the club praised so much. She described everything in such detail, as if she were confessing. Then I asked the question that bothered me the most. Why in our home, Megan? Why in our marital bed? Did you hate me so much and want to punish and humiliate me? Why rub my nose in your betrayal? You knew well that I didn't cheat on you. You could have gone to a motel and not humiliated me. The more intensely and angrily I asked questions, the more Megan bowed her head to her slumped shoulders. There was a long pause, and finally, she whispered so softly that I could barely hear. It's Steve. What? Speak. Louder. Steve demanded it. She shouted. As soon as he learned about our plan with Sylvia, he insisted that all of it happened in our marital bed, and that you were nearby, seeing and hearing everything. That he repeated it again and again, and said he would be involved one way or another. At that moment, I was so caught up in anticipation that I didn't dare object. That, and you claim, my faithful wife, that you didn't want to humiliate me. What, in your opinion, can this be called other than humiliation? How could you? Steve is nobody to me. He didn't vow at the altar to forsake all others. But you're my wife. the mother of my children. How could you let this happen? She remained silent, staring at the floor, and I realized I didn't need to know anything more. I got what I wanted that I stood up abruptly, grabbed the recorder from the shelf, and left, leaving Megan with an astonished and incomprehending look that I went straight to the police station and informed Sergeant Burke on duty that I wanted to report a crime. He was already aware of everything, as he had already filed a report on the attack by Megan's lover, Steve Adams, on me in my attempt to defend myself, resulting in his nose being slightly broken. He immediately called the duty capture team. Megan was arrested in my house and transported to the police station in a police cruiser. With her confession captured on film, it took the police less than an hour to break Megan, who burst into tears and admitted to what she and Sylvia had done to me, including spiking my drinks with drugs. Sylvia provided the drugs, as one of her ex-boyfriends was a dealer, and she had a small stash left after he dumped her. After that, the divorce was relatively straightforward, considering the malicious whore and her conniving best friend ended up in prison. The compassionate judge sentenced Megan, sending her and Sylvia to jail for 3 years for extortion and drug distribution, granting me full custody of the children and family assets for their support. 6 months later, Steve Adams was attacked. Some unknown guy in a dark tracksuit and a baseball cap pulled down over his eyes confronted him on the parking lot after leaving the club, despite the late hour. Strangely, he didn't take any money or watches, but instead, he knocked him to the ground and repeatedly kicked his ribs with a boot featuring an iron tip. Now, they say, the former Steve can no longer gaze at the stars, only at the floor, but who cares? There were so many deceived men that the police couldn't figure out which one of them this thug was, and, presumably, they didn't try very hard. Sergeant Burke compiled another report, and the case was closed. Well, life goes on. Go figure for a while. The kids missed their mother, but they grew to love their new stepmom completely. Forgetting about Megan, all my friends were very surprised when I started dating the 18-year-old nanny for my kids, but Kelly transformed into a beautiful young woman and secretly fell in love with me while taking care of my wonderful children. That we got married in a modest ceremony. A year after my divorce with Megan was finalized for our entire family life, she never gave me any reason for jealousy, and I responded in kind. 30 years and 2 more kids later, we are still happily married. Fortunately, Kelly was not the cheating whore that Mary and Megan turned out to be. As we conclude our journey into the world of human relationships, please remember to subscribe, like, and share our content. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next story.